From the ballroom of the Gibson Hotel in Cincinnati, the Vaughn Monroe Show with Colonel Stoopnagle, the Moon Maids, and our special guest, Ginnie Powell. Presented by Camel Cigarettes. Experience is the best teacher. Try a Camel. Let your own experience tell you why more people are smoking Camels than ever before.
Racing with the moon, high up in the midnight blue.
Curtain going up. And here is Vaughn Monroe to open the show this evening with an outstanding hit of the season, Haunted Heart.
In the night, oh, we're apart. There's a ghost of you within my haunted heart. Ghost of you. My lost romance, lips that laugh, eyes that dance, haunted heart won't let me be. Dreams repeat a sweet but lonely song to me. Dreams are dusty too, but belong to me. And thrill my haunted heart. Is still my haunted Thank you and greetings, everybody. This is Vaughn Monroe. We sure do get around on this Camel Cigarette Show of ours. And our tour of the country has brought us tonight to Cincinnati, Ohio. This evening, the orchestra and I are taking time out from our schedule of 4 a day at the Albee Theater in Cincinnati to do our broadcast from the Gibson Hotel. And this sounds like the right moment to introduce a couple of new additions to our cast. First, a word of welcome to our new announcer, Hugh Conover.
I'm certainly glad to join your show, Vaughn. Seems to me you've got a mighty happy combination here.
Yes, we're all pretty happy, Hugh. Some of us are very happy, some are just plain happy.
Good evening, Vaughn. Has my head come back from the laundry yet?
And this is Colonel Stoopnagle. He's slap happy.
Colonel, did I hear you ask if your head came back from the laundry?
Yes, I sent it to a place that specializes in flat work. Are you the new announcer on this show?
That's right.
Well, don't let Vaughn kid you about me being crazy. He's just jealous because he didn't think of the idea of yawn pills, and I did.
Colonel, I'm sorry if I don't seem very bright, but what are yawn pills?
Well, they make you yawn. They're for men who are too tired to shave. You just hold the razor against your face, and as the pills take effect, your face moves up and down, and you yawn your beard off. You see, these yawn pills make you yawn as you hold your face against the whiskers, and the pills up and down.
Don't hand in your resignation, Hugh. You'll get used to the Colonel. Besides, I'd like you to stick around and hear the second new member of our cast. She's with us tonight only for a guest appearance, but she's promised to do 2 songs for us. Her name is Ginnie Powell, and her first tune is How High the Moon. Ginnie?
Lost here in the season, what's become of my reason? Somewhere there's music, how faith is true. Somewhere there's heaven, how high the moon. There is no moon above where love is far away too. Till it comes true that you love me as I love you. Where there's music, it's where you are. Last night was trying if you would come to me soon. Until you will, I'll still mind high the moon.
Done to perfection, Ginnie Powell, and we'll have another spot ready and waiting for you a little later in the show. As for the item next on my schedule, I don't mind bragging a little. The very first time I heard it played in the music publisher's office, I figured it would be a hit. Of course, I made song predictions that were proved all wrong, but in this case, audiences everywhere took to the tune and made it one of the country's favorites. Now is the hour when we must say goodbye. Soon you'll be sailing far across the sea. While you're away, oh, please remember me. When you return, you'll find me Revivals of songs that were big hits anywhere from 5 to 25 years ago seem to be quite the thing these days. As, for example, Little White Lies, Babyface, and many others that are doing right well for themselves in the jukeboxes. One of the best of the tunes that have been taken down off the shelf to become a bestseller all over again is this one, We Just Couldn't Say Goodbye. We thought that love was over, that we were really through. I said I didn't love her, that we'd begin anew. And you can all believe me, we sure intended to. But we just couldn't say goodbye. The chair and then the sofa, they broke right down and cried. The curtain started waving for me to come inside. I told you confidently, the tears were hard to hide. And we just couldn't say goodbye. The clock was striking 12 o'clock. It's my run up below. With folded hands, it seemed to say, we'll miss you if you go. So I went back and kissed her, and when I looked around, the room was singing love songs and dancing up and down. And now we're both so happy because at last we found that we just couldn't say goodbye. And when I looked around, the world was singing and dancing up and down. And now we're both so happy because at last we found that we just couldn't say goodbye. No, we just couldn't say goodbye. All right, you Ginnie Powell fans, and after the sample of her singing you've heard this evening, I think you're all her fans now. Ginnie is on stage again for her promised encore. I've heard her do this tune before, and I know she makes it a very special treat to the ears. Nature Boy. A good song, well sung, Ginnie Powell, and thanks for your visit. Okay, Colonel, you can stop applauding now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Vaughn. I was just carried away by Miss Powell's beauty, her dazzling white eyes and her lovely blue teeth. Gosh, I'd love to sweep her into my arms, crush her in my embrace, and kiss her madly.
Well, why don't you do it?
Oh, you know me. I think like a wolf and act like a cocker spaniel. Besides, I've got more important things on my mind, namely, your career, Vaughn. Vaughn, a fellow with your talent ought to be on the radio.
This man is all body. Colonel, I'm doing a radio program right now.
You are? Congratulations. You know, for 9 years, I did the program for a company that sold oatmeal.
Once a week?
No, it was a cereal program.
Colonel, I'm new around here, but
yes.
I'd like to ask you something. Do you know anything about radio?
That is an insulting question, Mr. Conover. You might as well ask me if I know how much is 2 and 2.
Okay, how much is 2 and 2?
I'll take the first question. Of course I know radio. Did you have your radio on last night?
Yes.
How did it fit? Do I know radio? Do I know radio? You're talking to a star of stage, screen, radio, video, and rodeo.
What were you doing with a rodeo?
Darned if I know-deo. Guess I was just roped in. Vaughn, I think that you should be doing one of these daytime serial programs.
But, Colonel, I'm not an actor.
Well, that's what you think. I once saw you rehearsing in a musical comedy, and you showed plenty of talent. The girls in the chorus showed plenty, too. But never mind that. Here's a daytime serial I wrote. Let's try it out.
Presenting young Dr. Monroe.
Or, as this program is also known, Vaughn, a Girl Married.
But first, a message to you ladies.
Ladies, do your feet hurt? Are your ankles weak? Are your arches collapsing? Then why not try this simple, easy relief for tired, aching feet? Starting tomorrow, stand on your head. And now, John's other Monroe. As we look in on our happy family today, just plain Vaughn enters his modest little house, softly closing the door behind him. Suddenly a bomb explodes, flinging him down the cellar steps, where he lands on his head on the concrete floor. At the same time, the ceiling falls on him, cracking 6 of his wrists. Also, at the same time, the furnace blows up and breaks his leg. Vaughn speaks.
Out. Tune in again tomorrow, friends, for another heartwarming episode on the story of Stella Monroe.
The program that asks the question, can a woman find happiness when she and her sweetheart are going steady, but not with each other? Well, how do you like acting on serial programs, Vaughn?
Well, frankly, Colonel...
Nonsense. You stick with me, and within 6 months it'll be November. But perhaps you'd rather appear in a mystery program I've written. Here's how it goes.
Presenting the not fat, not thin, but medium man.
Once again, it's time to join Sam Monroe, Private Eye, in another of his thrilling adventures. As we find Sam now, he is in his office. He's in his office loading his revolver. Suddenly, the phone rings, and Sam Monroe answers.
Hello.
Listen in again next week, folks, for another spine-tingling story from the files of the FIB.
Colonel, you mean FBI.
FIB, every one of our stories is a fib. And men, don't forget to buy a jar of Flurb tonight. If you are bald, try some of this amazing product on your head. You'll be delighted with the results, because Flurb is not a grease, not an oil, not a messy liquid. It's hair. Well, Vaughn, how do you like being the star of a mystery show?
Colonel, if it's all the same to you, I think I'll stick to music.
Oh, you mean you don't want to talk on the radio? Okay, then you can do a program where you're an animal hunter in the North Woods, a strong, silent man.
Since when are animal hunters silent?
Well, that's what I read someplace. They only open their traps 3 times a year. Well, I'll see you around.
A little while ago, I mentioned the current rage for revival. And personally, I'm all for it. After all, some of you folks like new tunes, and some of you'd rather hear the old ones. The revival gives you a happy combination of both, an oldie that's become a new hit all over again. For example, our Saturday night special is a little item dating back to 1930. That's getting a big whirl right now from the younger set. when she was done. You were all the sweet things rolled into one. You're like a plaintive melody that never lets me free. For I'm content the angels must have sent you, and they met you just for me.
Each week, the makers of Camel cigarettes send free Camels to servicemen's hospitals from coast to coast. This week, the Camels go to Veterans Hospital, Danville, Illinois, U.S. Army Station Hospital, Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, U.S. Naval Hospital, Corpus Christi, Texas, U.S. Marine Hospital, Savannah, Georgia, and Veterans Hospital, North Little Rock, Arkansas. Experience is the best teacher. Try a Camel. Let your own experience tell you why more people are smoking Camels than ever before.
Racing with the moon, high up in the midnight blue. And that just about brings down the curtain on tonight's Camel Cigarette Show. Don't forget to listen Monday night over most of these same stations for further entertainment brought to you by Camel Cigarettes, when Screen Guild players will present their adaptation of an unusual and fascinating love story, Hold Back the Dawn, starring Charles Boy and Ida Lupino. Just 1 week from tonight, we'll be back with another session of our Camel Cigarette Show on the air from Akron, Ohio. I can promise you a really full half-hour of fun and music if you'll dial your radio set our way next Saturday night. The cast, in addition to Colonel Stoopnagle, the Moon Maids, and myself, will include a special guest, returning engagement of Miss Connie Haynes. So I hope you'll join us at our next meeting. And until then, this is Vaughn Monroe wishing you pleasant dreams, and won't you have a Camel?